Bob, agent of Hydra, also known as Robert Dabalini, has been affiliated with X Agency and Hydra.
His partnerships include Deadpool, a former member of the terrorist agency Hydra. He defected to help Wade Wilson, but has kept his Hydra uniform. A cowardly young man, Bob was persuaded into joining the criminal organization Hydra by his wife, Allison, who accused him of not being able to hold a steady job. The thought of a stable career with a dental plan also appealed to Bob, though he was disappointed to find out Hydra does not offer full dental like Advanced Idea Mechanics, also known as AIM.
During Deadpool's assault on Hydra to rescue the captured Agent X, he ran into Bob and coerced Bob into helping him. Bob was hesitant, as Hydra would not allow him back into the organization after having betrayed them, but Deadpool, at the time 4 inches tall, tortured him with a security card until he relented. He then forced Bob to fly them to safety on Hydra's jets, though Bob did not know how to pilot an aircraft.
After Deadpool, Agent X, and Bob returned to the United States, they found Outlaw and Sandy missing. Bob accompanied Deadpool on his mission to save the girls, and subsequently became an honorary member of Agency X. He continues to work with the group on their various missions, and is referred to as Deadpool's minion, or pet.
During a raid on the very same Hydra base Deadpool kidnapped Bob from, in an attempt to save Weasel from Wolverine, Bob was shot in the leg. Weasel had been left behind in the raid Bob had been picked up on. Deadpool knew that, when Wolverine targeted the base, Weasel's chances for survival were slim.
When Wolverine cuts off Deadpool's head, Bob put it back in order to let Deadpool's healing factor take effect. By the end of the incident, most of Bob's former co-workers are slain. Weasel sends the rest to prison using teleportation technology. Weasel saves the others with the teleportation technology, but it later malfunctions.
Later, Deadpool and Bob are sent into the past, where they aid Captain America and Bucky in stopping Arnim Zola. Following that adventure, Bob accompanied Deadpool on a mission through various dimensions to help Doctor Strange save reality after it was damaged by T-Ray's novice magic. Bob also traveled with Deadpool and Weasel to the Savage Land, where he ran away from an assortment of dinosaurs.
Deadpool attempted to teleport the dinos to Genosha as a prank on Magneto, but instead they were sent to the Genoshan embassy in downtown Manhattan, being infected with the alien symbiotes responsible for venom and carnage. During the resultant battle, Bob's attempt to flee accidentally caused the death of one of the creatures while a news crew watched. Thinking his actions were intentional, they interviewed Bob, who claimed the H on his uniform stood for hero.
He then received a text message from Allison, who had seen the events on the news. Bob is later seen assisting Deadpool defeat Tiger Shark. When Deadpool tells Bob to throw him a rifle, Bob does not throw it far enough.
The rifle falls into the water, where Tiger Shark is waiting, and Bob is knocked into the water. Deadpool saves Bob at the last second, and they are able to outmaneuver Tiger Shark for a while, although Bob is shot in the hand by Deadpool. Bob explains to Deadpool that he, along with Tiger Shark, were hired by Norman Osborn.
Later, Bob is called upon by Deadpool to join him in becoming a pirate. Bob abandons his wife to answer the call. Due to severe beatings, he gets stuck as Deadpool's parrot.
With Deadpool's lack of navigational skills, they become lost at sea for 6 weeks, and Bob develops scurvy, or possibly heat stroke. Bob attempts to gain help from Kalani, a blind, beautiful information clerk on Jalarka, a tropical island the two were planning to pirate. Bob is pleased to be forced to spend time with her, when Deadpool's insanity causes him to demand her partnership, in exchange for saving the island from other pirates. The three work together, and kill all the other pirates.
Kalani falls for Bob and asks him to stay behind with her, but his loyalty to his wife remains. However, he is in fact forced to stay behind as Deadpool abandons Bob and Kalani with a crate full of gold and musings on how he wants to help people instead of rob them.
Later, Bob uses a time platform to send Hulkpool, a gamma-powered Deadpool, back in time to kill Deadpool. Unfortunately, it sends him to an alternate reality where Thing is Blackbeard. Bob tries to correct the mistakes and ends up transporting dinosaurs to that reality.
Further mistakes in that timeline cause Bob to be revered as an all-powerful god by the entirety of modern-day Earth. Later, Bob finds himself on the wrong side of a gang war between Tombstone and the Kingpin. Desperate to save his friend's life, Deadpool battles X-Force, who were trying to take him down.
They agree to leave Deadpool alone when they realize he is simply trying to save Bob. Disposing of T-Ray had caused magical breakage through multiple realms, so Doctor Strange sends Deadpool and Bob through said realms. Their mission requires a monster slain in each one. After 2 years of absence, Deadpool again calls upon Bob to help secure an escape route for him and S.H.I.E.L.D.
Despite initially being offended by Deadpool's long absence, he agrees to help, somehow getting a Hydra carrier to save the couple. However, the trio gets kidnapped by MODOK, interested in S.H.I.E.L.D's succubus powers. They manage to escape, but in the process, Bob gets his legs badly crushed and, as S.H.I.E.L.D pleads for his safety, Deadpool agrees to dump him in a veterinarian clinic at first, then a real hospital.
He recovers enough to help Deadpool fend off Dracula's forces, using a stolen MODOK's chair to move around with his broken legs. He eventually manages to make a full recovery, attending Wade and S.H.I.E.L.D's marriage. Much later, Bob is a host for a returned Madcap, partially regenerated after vaporizing himself.
He embedded himself inside Bob and forced Bob to assist him in his revenge against Deadpool. Madcap then tore himself from Bob and attached to Deadpool. Once again, Bob is working for Deadpool as he assists Negasonic Teenage Warhead in taking Deadpool to the physics-defying realm of Weird World.
Bob has no superpowers and does not have training in any combat or tactical skills. The training Hydra gave its minions seems primarily focused on running away and hiding when confronted with danger, making Bob a mere cannon fodder henchman, like those frequently seen on TV working for evil organizations. This training is obviously useless, as Bob has cited such Hydra lessons as hiding behind each other and if I can't see them, they can't see me.
Deadpool has said that Bob is better at running away than anyone he has ever seen. Bob has a pathological fear ingrained in him of certain heroes who are particularly devastating enemies of Hydra. Among these are Captain America, Wolverine, and Elektra.
Notably, Bob has mentioned Hydra specifically trains their minions to flee as quickly as possible upon hearing the distinctive sound of Wolverine's claws extracting. When stressed, he has a tendency to shout "Hail Hydra," and other propaganda of the organization such as "cut off one head, and 2 more will take its place." Despite his incompetence, Bob sometimes gets lucky.
He was able to fly a plane a long distance despite having no knowledge of how to do so, and killed a symbiote-possessed dinosaur by accident while fleeing from it. He was able to save Deadpool's life during a battle with Wolverine by staying put to reattach his head despite his cowardice.
Even though he is useless in a fight, Deadpool seems to delight in taking him on dangerous missions, seemingly for his own amusement. Bob goes along with him, although it is unclear whether this is because he is afraid of Wade or genuinely considers him a friend, or because he's a committed minion and does not know what else to do. Despite his shortcomings and his cowardice, Bob's strength lies in him being a dedicated friend, challenging his own fears to help his friends.